I'm Renee Kennedy with AAA Life Solutions, and today I'm here to talk to you about another tax-free retirement account that you may not have heard of before. And the interesting part about this account is that it can be used for a lot of different things. And so I brought my little doll here today to just give you a little idea of how this works. So this is our tax-free retirement account. Now, I know you've heard of Roth conversions and Roth IRAs. That's not what this is, okay? But the difference between this is it does a lot of different jobs, okay? And one of the main benefits is that you can access it before you're 59 and a half. You're not limited to how much you can put in there. And you can borrow it from yourself. Now, some of you are saying, oh, that's infinity banking. No, that's a different type of account that we'll talk about at a future date. But today, on this tax-free retirement account, this tax-free retirement account is what I used to have a chronic illness taken care of for my husband when he got sick about 5 years ago. Now, I didn't activate it right away. I used some short-term disability and our savings, and I used our health insurance and other things to get on the road before I activated this account. But the interesting part about this is, most people just have their 401k. So think of it like you just have this, all your money in this one bucket. And if that's what you have and that's all you've done, that's okay. That's a great start, but that's not all you need, okay? So what you have is you can take money that you pay taxes on it first, and then you take a little bit of that money and you put it into this tax-free retirement account. Now, I'll explain these as I go, but which would you rather do? Would you rather pay taxes on the seed or the harvest? So when you have your 401k account, you actually you're taking that tax break in the beginning, okay? And that's great because sometimes you need that. And you have a long time horizon so that it can be invested in the market, in mutual funds usually, and you can have it over time do well. But if that's all you have, and you go through these financial storms and these financial crises that we've been dealing with lately, and all your money is in this bucket, and the market goes down, and it goes down again, well, now your money gets lower and lower and lower and lower, and then you can't retire because it has depleted your account. But what if you could take a little bit of money when you're young, even when you're older, you can do it in larger increments, but let's say you pay taxes on the seed. You put after-tax money in this account, okay? So you start out with a little bit of money, and people ask me, well, what's the minimum you can put in this account? Well, probably $50 or $100 if you're young, but every few years you want to increase that, okay? So you have a small amount of money that you pay taxes on, and it can grow based on indices, and you've heard of, like the S&P 500, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, Barclays, one of the oldest banks in the world. You have these well-known indices that you can participate in. So you can have this little seed that's already had taxes paid grow to something like this, and there's no capital gains because it's inside this particular account that is still a tax shelter. Now, some of you have heard of golden handcuffs, and that's what a lot of companies use are these type of accounts. It's not whole life, but they use these types of accounts to give executives these amazing benefits to have them stay employed with a company. And there's usually contracts and things like that involved. So if you have a key man employee, this would be a good account to do that. And like I said, it's not a whole life. It has a whole life component, but it's something different. So here you put in the seed, and then maybe you want to take money out. Well, what if the loan rate was 3 to 5% with a 5% max loan rate? Well, now you've put money in, and you don't have to be 59 and a half to take money out. And what if later on you wanted to put a down payment on a house? Well, you could take more money out and pay yourself back, where are you going to be able to get a loan for 5% in the future? Okay. And what if you get sick? Well, what if you had a death benefit over here that goes to age 121, and you have this death benefit that you can access if you needed chronic, critical, or a terminal illness? Well, now you've got this retirement account that has multiple uses, and you can use this for even retirement income that is tax-free. Because remember, every dollar that you put in here, you've already paid taxes on. So you've mitigated the capital gains. You've mitigated paying taxes, some huge tax burden in the future on your 401k that you have no idea what it's going to be. When I ask people now, when I'm teaching educational seminars, and I say, are taxes high now or low? They all say high. Folks, we are in the lowest tax bracket we have ever been in historically. Now, we hope Congress does their job and they extend this another 4 years, and then we'll know that we have another 4 years of the lowest tax brackets ever. But at some point in the future, your 401k is going to be taxed at an unknown rate. And Uncle Sam knows your birthdays, and they know that at age 73, you're going to have to start taking RMDs, required minimum distributions, and you're going to be taxed on it. And they count on that. And we don't think that you're going to have any problems with Social Security, what's in place now. And we've been promised that they're not going to make changes to that, which will be great. But you don't know what the taxes are going to be in the future. So when you're making a plan and you're trying to include pensions and Social Security and things like that for the future, you need some alternative tax-free retirement accounts. So if you've created a tax-free retirement income, and then you have some kind of illness, and then you've got a death benefit, and you can have access to your money, and you've been putting a small amount in over a period of time, and sometimes that might look like a 5-year paid in full, and that could be larger sums, but you have to have certain stipulations in place to be able to qualify for that. And you can't do it when you get sick. So you have to have these things in place before that happens. I'm here to tell you that this type of account really, really protected and saved our family from a huge financial crisis that is still ongoing. I love that there are things that we can do to protect ourselves, and we want you to be protected. It doesn't mean that you're not participating in the market. Some of these accounts, some of these indices inside these accounts are unlimited, meaning they don't have a cap. Others have a fixed account that you can go to when the market is bad. And how does that sound? If you could all of a sudden take all of this and the money that you've been putting in, instead of losing, you could say, okay, I'm going to go to the fixed account. And some of the fixed accounts are between 4 and 4.75% right now. That sounds pretty good when you're thinking about all the risk that you might be taking in your 401k right now. So if you can change some of your buckets and create more tax shelters and create more diversity within those buckets besides just one big pot of a 401k that everyone's telling you need to convert to a Roth, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should convert it to a Roth. There's a break-even point, and there's reports that need to be run so that you know how much are my RMDs going to be in the future. We can figure that out. We may not know the exact tax rate, but we can show you whether a Roth conversion makes sense, and that's not what I'm talking about right now. It's not a Roth. It's a different kind of tax-free retirement account. So I hope I've given you a little bit of a few things for you to think about today. Number one, are all your eggs in one bucket? Do you have multiple buckets? Do you have multiple tax-sheltered buckets that you can pull from in the future? Because when I and my husband retire, we're going to turn on the retirement income from this account, and we don't have to pay taxes on it. It doesn't even count as ordinary income. Now, is it free? No, it's not free. But when you have the least amount of money in this account is when the expenses are the highest. And by the time you get past 10 years, the expenses go to about 0.35 or 0.40 of 1%. for the rest of your life. So, nothing in life is free. You don't want free, but you want something that's going to protect you. And that's what we hope to do. So, hope that's been some help, and you need a little bit more education. We're happy to provide that. So, until next time, thank you.